Hi, welcome to day 24 of Stay at Home with Stanley. Hello you. So we've had a very busy day in the garden and hence why we're a bit late coming to you. We thought we'd do a couple of things today. One of them is how to teach your dog to come and sit next to you. You might find that quite often your dog will sit in front of you all the time because that's where we reward them. So they will often sit in front of you, but often if you want to say start in your heel work, loose lead, you'd like the dog next to you. There's no point in them sitting in front of you. So this is something that obedience people will use. They call it close. You can decide what you want to call it. I have my dog walking on my left, so I want them to come round and be on my left. So I'll show you how we'll get the dog to do it, and then what we'll start to do is have a smaller and smaller hand action so that the dog will know that a small flick of my hand means come and sit next to me. It's quite useful when you're out and about. It's quite useful, say, when you want a dog to just not be looking at you but next to you, perhaps when you're out doing some shopping or something. Again, useful if you're going to do some heel work. So Stanley is all ready to go. Had a very exciting day today, patio washing, haven't we? I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll do a second exercise where we're going to teach the dog to do a little figure of 8. Again, you can use a couple of plant pots as a nice little game to play. So I'll show you how to teach the dog to do close. Okay, so we're going to start by luring. Have some food in our hands. We've got little pieces of, oh I know, you can't dive in and have them, can you? Did I say yes? No, I didn't. So we've got pieces of sausage. Thank you. He obviously likes sausage a lot, and what we'll do is we'll lure it to start with. You want your leg to be the Velcro, so you want the dog to follow the leg. At the moment, I'm going to put the food down the seam of my trousers by my knee, and then that's going to be where I want the dog to obviously end up sitting. So I'll show you how I do it. Come on then. There's a good boy. So I will often use something like this. So I've used this low edge of my patio because our kind of barrier is quite good to make the dog's bottom not go out to the side. And if you're being really pedantic, you want the dog to be really at a nice clean right angle to you, alignment with you, parallel with you. So if you don't use a barrier, the dog's bottom can go out at an angle. So he's sitting in front, as you can see. I'll just show you. Come a little bit here. That's it. So that's how a dog often will be, sitting in front like that. I said I'll do a down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my food here. He's going to follow my left leg. So my left leg is going to go back. The food's going to go with it. It's going to come back here. Lift my arm up. Yes. Lovely. Good boy. Yes. So as you can see, he's sitting really nice and neatly next to me. So we'll try that again. Okay, let's get him to sit in front. Good boy. So I'll do it again with some food, piece of food in my hand. So my leg, he's going to be lured and following that leg. Follow the leg back, bring the leg back up again. Yes, lovely. So you can see then he's sitting really nicely next to me. So I find this quite useful as a little technique to have a little play with. So I call that close. You can use it, again, any word will do as long as you stick and you're consistent with it. So what we want him to do is, there's a good boy, is come and sit next to us. And again, my hand action, the next thing I'll do it without food. So I'll show you how we do it next. So, okay, there's no food in my hands, naked hands here. So I'm going to do the same action like that, back up. Yes. So mark it then, and then I'm going to feed him. Good boy. My hand action's quite big. So what I'm going to progress to, we won't be able to do it probably here because he's not done this before, is my hand action will become smaller, like that, like that. Yes. Sitting slightly behind me. Don't mind that, I'd rather slightly behind than slightly in front. But ideally want him to be a parallel to you. So that was a nice little demonstration. And again, using a barrier, really helpful. It's a good way of getting the dog to have a way of keeping that nice and neat. You can do it inside against a kitchen cupboard. That's quite a nice thing to do. So that's the first thing, to teach your dog to come close and sit next to you. So there's almost knowing that they want to be sitting parallel to you. So the second exercise we're going to do is a little figure of 8 game. So I have got here a couple of, this will be interesting because he likes to eat these, but a couple of football cones. So I'll show you what we're going to do here. Come on then. There's a good boy. I hope you can see them. So yeah, if I pop them here like this, all I'm going to do is, let's get him next to me here again, do a close. That's it, close. Lovely, good lad. So all we're going to do is lure him round. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Good boy. We'll do the same again, but we're going to get him to go right the way around this time. So round that one, yes, 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 good boy. So all we're doing is luring him around that figure of 8. Obviously we're doing it with food. we'd have a few more repetitions of that before we then went to trying it without food, and Singy follows my hand. So I'll have a little go. There we go. So this time I'm going to have no food in my hands, and we'll see if this will work. It might be a bit tricky for him because he's not done this before. Let's pop that cone up like that. So I'm going to pretend I've got food in my hands. Ready? Yes. There you go. This way. Oh no, I've knocked it over. Shall we try that again? Shall we try that again? So I want to make my hands smell quite smelly, as if I've got food in. So let me give them a good old rub. Okay, ready? Oh, he's knocked it over. Let's try it again. Yes. 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 Good boy. And then I'll give him some food. So sometimes giving your hands a smell of food is a really good way to get the dog to follow. He's a bit clumsy in knocking a couple of the cones over, but a little bit of a fun game, because later on you could put that figure of 8 together with some of the other exercises that we've done. So again, I thought that would be quite good. Close is useful. Again, figure of 8's a bit of fun. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, that's good fun, wasn't it, Stanley? See you later. Bye.